Well, I got this mower repaired. I sent video of every step of the way to the customer so he knows that I'm not ripping him off. He needed new spindles. You know, he just wanted a new belt. That's all he wanted. And I showed him when I was there that everything was bad. The pulley, the blade, all of it. So he grudgingly said, well, I just need a belt, so whatever it takes to do it. So he didn't like the idea. But like I said, I made a video of everything. The blades, I stuck one blade on top, the old blade on top of the new blade, and the new blade was like, half of it was gone because they had sharpened it so much. So he said, okay. I told him I'd invoice it later today. He's not going to like it. I mean, I think he was expecting this thing to be under $100, but the whole deck was shot. And the thing is the belt has been bad for a while because somebody adjusted the tensioner, which means the belt had, my guess is when people do that, it's not a guess, when people do that, it typically means the belt either has stretched or so much of the belt has wore away that you tighten the tensioner so when you engage it or disengage it, the belt doesn't fall off. Well, it was so tight, the tensioner was, that when I put the new belt on and I tried to start the lawnmower, it was trying to turn the blades with it. So I had to loosen that back into the new, position for a new belt. So, that's just cheating is all that is. That's not really fixing anything. When your belts wear out, you need to replace the belt. But I got this last night, and this put some starting fluid in the carburetor, started up and died. So that means I needed to clean the carburetor, which I did. But I pulled, I drained the gas out of it, and it was brown. And brown means somebody has put stabilizer in it. And I am just against stabilizer. I will use seafoam to kind of clean things up in the carburetor, and it will help with the gasoline preservation for the length of time that I wait to start the lawnmower. I start my lawnmower every month. So I put that in my gas tank, and it keeps the carburetor from getting messed up in that month of no running in cold temperatures. But I don't even do that anymore. I put a shutoff valve on that, so now I just shut the gas off, let the engine die, the carburetor empties out of gas, it dies, and then I don't have to worry about any of it. Although I still do start it once a month, but I don't even waste the seafoam because that stuff's pretty expensive. But everybody just raves about the stabilizer. You got to have stabilizer in your gasoline. You go on Facebook, you will just as well be the devil himself if you say anything against stabilizer. I mean, they just... Now, if you tell them to drain, to run the gas out, shut the valve off, run the gas out. Oh, you can't do that. It'll dry out all the components in the lawnmower or in the carburetor. Well, what components are we drying out? I mean, in today's technology, they don't dry out. In a 2-cycle, the carburetor can, but not in a lawnmower engine. They just don't dry out. And the thing is in the old days, they used to have leather. They used leather for the float and real rubber, like from the plant material. So yeah, in the old days, things could dry out, but today, not so much. I mean, I've seen lawnmowers sit for a long time without gasoline, and they start right up when you put gasoline in it. Now, if you put the ethanol gas in it, the alcohol, the ethanol, absorbs water, and it starts doing it almost immediately. And so over a month or two, well, even a month, it will absorb so much water that it will start pitting up the carburetor. And it'll make it, well, first thing it'll do is it kind of dries up, evaporates out. And so now it clogs all the ports in the carburetor. So that's why you clean the carburetors, because, you know, everything's clogged up. But over time, that starts to pit things. And it can actually damage the carburetor. So if you see a lawnmower sitting around for years, you know, 3, 4, 5 years, you just well go ahead and replace the carburetor. Now, stabilizer protects it for a while. Kind of like seafoam. I mean, say seafoam, they consider a stabilizer also. But seafoam cleans. Seafoam's pretty good stuff. You can actually take seafoam and put it into a surging engine. You know, it's sat over the winter. Your carburetor's a little bit gummed up, but not a lot. So it's surging. It means it's getting more air than fuel. If you put seafoam in a tank, run it for 10 minutes with that surging, and then shut it off and let it sit overnight, it can clean the engine or the carburetor enough that you don't even have to take the carburetor off. It doesn't always work, but it can work. Stabilizer, on the other hand, it's just an oil. It just seems like it's an oil-based thing. And so you put it in there, and it does stabilize it for a while, but it doesn't stop the process. Gasoline still evaporates out. You may avoid getting water in it because, well, I don't even understand how that works. But it will still gum up your carburetor. So he brings that over yesterday and had stabilizer in it for 4 years. And so I take the carburetor off, and as soon as I take it off, that stuff just stains. It's like, I don't know, ink, that neon. I know what I'm thinking of. Back in the 70s, everybody used this fluorescent stuff with the fluorescent light, the fluorescent paint. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It just turns everything, that yellowish brown. Of course, back in the 70s, it was green, but it's just kind of fluorescent. And it's a mess. So it's running everywhere. It's on my hands. I mean, I'm not worried about it. That's fine. I can smell. It just smells terrible. So I get it onto the tray and I take it apart. Well, I get it all apart. I'm spraying it with the carb cleaner. I take it down to the ultrasonic cleaner and I ultrasonic clean it. Put the carburetor back on. Starts right up. So I'm thinking I'm in good shape. But there's a little bit of a poppy noise in there. Just a hollow popping noise. And I thought, you know what? I'll just go ahead and run the seafoam in it just in case. You know, there's still something in the carburetor. I mean, it could be valves. It's most likely valves. But I thought, you know, even the seafoam will even take carbon off the valves. So it can actually help that too. But the popping was so light. Well, anyway, so I put the seafoam in it. And I ran it for about 15 minutes. And while it was running, the popping noise went away. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, whatever it was, got flushed out. We should be in good shape. Well, now, I thought, okay, well, since I put the seafoam in the gas tank, I'll let it sit overnight. And tomorrow morning, you know, we'll get all the carbon out of there. And anything that was residual in the carburetor will clean out. And I'll start it right up. It'll big puff of white smoke because all that carbon's getting burned off. And we'll be 100%. I can call the customer today. Came out, wouldn't start. Would not start. Huh. Well, that's funny. Well, I thought, well, maybe the choke. Because the choke can actually, if it's not shutting, you won't get any gas into the engine. So, and sometimes that happens. You know, you mess something up when you're putting it together. So I take the air filter off just to see if the choke's fine. There's nothing wrong with the choke. Well, I don't want to use carb cleaner to start it because I want to get a cold start. So I decided I'm going to take the bowl off. I take the bowl off and that neon stuff just comes pouring out of that bowl off the carburetor. Like I hadn't even cleaned it. I mean, it was that thick. It was like I hadn't touched it the day before. Like, remember, yesterday it was completely clean. So, obviously this stuff was still in the gas tank. But I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I mean, I flushed the gas tank out. I put the gas in the gas tank, flushed, let it all drain out. And it was all clear. Nothing looked contaminated. But when I went to bed, when I shut it off last night, right before I went to bed, I made sure that the gas was clear inside the bowl, which means the bowl is now full of gas. So what has happened is that chemical in the seafoam, or excuse me, the chemical in the stabilizer, the seafoam broke it down overnight, and it just settled in the bowl. It didn't come from the gasoline tank. It came from inside the carburetor that I thoroughly cleaned. And I mean, I know I thoroughly cleaned it. It was beautiful looking. But there's all that hidden, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, it just settled in the bowl, and there's so much of it, it wouldn't start. So as soon as I put the bowl back on, tightened the bolt, started right up, 3 pulls. So I drained all that gas out. I put a fresh tank of gas in it, and I'm gonna let it sit overnight again. And I'm gonna try to start it in the morning. That way I get a fresh cold start and see if make sure it starts okay. But my point to this is so many people just rave about stabilizer, like it's the the savior to ethanol gas. The thing is gas, whether it's ethanol or not, still evaporates off. It's going to go away. So for a mower to sit around for 4 years, the ethanol, the gas, just evaporated. So the only thing left in that carburetor was stabilizer. And it's not going to start with stabilizer. And that stuff started to degrade. Of course, it was mixed in with the gas, and it was like, I don't want to say a thick soup, but it was thicker than water. It was thicker than gasoline, and it was just everywhere. So now somebody's going to say, well, you should have just replaced the carburetor, and I could have. The thing is that stuff is everywhere. It's in the fuel lines, it's in the gas tank. It all has to be cleaned out, chemically cleaned out with seafoam. So I think that the approach that I took was the best. Here's the thing. I could have replaced if you had not used stabilizer and the carburetor was just gummed up with ethanol gas after 4 years, it would have been cheaper to replace the carburetor than it was to do all what I had to do today. Clean that carburetor, the fuel tank, and do the chemical clean. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get that out of there, is to do the chemical clean. It's just a mess. So I have nothing good to say about stabilizer. I don't think it works. It might work for a month or two, or maybe even get you through the winter. But shutting off your fuel does the same thing. Shutting off the fuel and let the engine die from a lack of fuel does the same thing. And you don't risk that garbage. Now, somebody will say, well, you don't get all the gasoline out of the bowl when you let it die. That is true. There's still a little bit of gas down there at the bottom of the bowl, but that's not going to hurt anything, because your emulsion tube is out of the gas. So that emulsion tube is not going to get caked up with bad gas. So the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a little bit of water down there at the bottom, and then when you turn that valve back on, it's going to flush all that out. It's going to dilute it so much it's not even going to matter. But I don't think, look, here's the thing. This is what I find interesting. My generator, it has a drain valve where you can drain the gasoline out. And that's what you're supposed to do. And it works. You can set a generator out for weeks, months, and come back. It'll take a few pulls because you still have gasoline at the bottom. However, if you just let it run out of gas, it only takes 1 pull to start it. So I'm not entirely sure that there's a lot of gas left in it after you run it out of gas. I know that if you put the choke in right before it dies, it'll run for a few seconds longer, picking up any extra gas inside the bowl. So I don't agree that using any other chemicals or any of that garbage, I really think it's all dangerous. If it's sitting in the carburetor, I think it's dangerous. Run your gas out. I think that's the best thing. So if you'll click this up next box to take your video over to my other channel, really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, take care of your equipment so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.